everyone, this is Dana and you are in my kitchen. This is a new venture for me. I've always wanted to do a cooking show. So this is me doing a cooking show. Not really doing a cooking show, but sharing some of my recipes. So today I am going to cook. I don't know if you hear that Earth, Wind, and Fire in the background, but I have to cook and dance, and Hannah will eventually join me at some point. But she decided that she was going to have a movie-thon last night. And she's just waking up at 3 o'clock on a Sunday. Nevertheless, I am in the kitchen alone. So today I am cooking one of my favorite dishes. And when I had Evan pull out the cast iron skillet, he says, "You're making that chicken and gravy and onions and stuff?" Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I've already washed. Y'all can see I'm black. So I've washed these chicken thighs with the bone in. So I'm going to season those and fry them in my cast iron skillet. Now if you can see that, my little tablet doesn't get everything, but y'all work with me. And then I am going to do some rice with onions and green peppers and red peppers and yellow peppers and some spinach. So I am getting ready to start seasoning that. So here we go. We have the chicken that's already washed. I bathe my chicken in a little oil. I use a combination of olive oil and a touch of coconut oil. And because I like my and this little blend in here, I like my seasonings to stick to the chicken. And the oil actually serves as a little coating. So I'm going to step out frame, I have to have something to wipe my hands, and so I'm cooking chicken. So once I'm done with this, that towel goes into the washer. And I'm seasoning. I'm using some pink salt. You like the sound of that crack, crack. And a little paprika for color. A little onion salt. Black pepper, and a little bit of seasoning that has some cilantro, parsley, sage, and some other stuff commonly known as Italian seasonings, but there's really nothing Italian about it. It's just a bunch of seasonings that's blended together. And then I am going to turn this and season the other side of it. Right, that is going to be so good. And again, just do all these steps. Light on the salt, heavy on the herbs. I love adding paprika to my food for color. Doesn't really taste like anything that I can identify, but it's just makes it look so pretty. And we're going to repeat all of that. And then I am going to flour it. Yes, flour. So we're going to flour this chicken. Y'all are going to learn how cheap I am by watching me cook. These are bags, you know, the vegetable jar bags for the greens. Whenever I buy greens, I just grab a couple of extra because they're so durable and I love them for doing this. Shaking, battering chicken and fish. So I'm going to drop that in there. I've already, of course, have my heat rather, on my oil to fry these. So we're going to shake them real good. Get it nicely coated. Y'all like my cute little apron? All right. Sometimes I will dip the chicken in an egg prior to flouring it, but I didn't do that today because I don't really need that coat, crispy coat, because I'm going to smother this in some homemade gravy. Yum. So I didn't really think that that was necessary. So we're dropping this in a hot skillet. Not too hot because you don't want it to burn. Hear that sizzle? All right, so we're gonna drop this in here and batter it. And one of the things, the meals that I share with you, I have a family. I cook a lot. I host a lot of dinners. And I don't believe that you have to spend a whole lot of money to eat healthy and to eat really good food. So most of the dishes that I prepare are $5 and less per person. So this dish, you can pick up a really healthy pack of chicken thighs for $6, $5. You get 5 or 6 of them in there. If you shop at my son's store, you'll get 10. Wayfield Foods. Shameless plug. So I have filled the skillet up with some thighs, and I want you to be able to see that because it's so pretty. And I'm going to actually sprinkle a little paprika to give it a little more color now that I have them in the pan, because I really like color. So I'm going to try to tilt this so you can see it. See that? See how pretty that is? Okay, so I'm going to let that do what it do. I'm going to start the water for the rice, and then I'll be back for the next steps. Alright, so I'm back. I put the rice on, which I'm pretty sure you all don't need a tutorial for rice. And I've started my homemade gravy. And this right here is just, right now, it's just water, flour, and a little bit of something that every serious cook has to have, is a little browning and seasoning sauce. So you put just a little bit in your water and your flour mixture, and I like this pretty golden almondy color. And then of course I add some seasoning to give that gravy some flavor. And I just mix it really well in here. And then once I pull this chicken out of the skillet, I am going to start cooking the gravy in some of the fat drippings from the chicken, which is going to give it this really rich, yummy flavor. And so I'll do that after. And of course I add some onions for some flavor. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk you through it. Once I pull the chicken out, I'm going to pour the gravy mixture into the hot skillet, and so it can get all of that yumminess, the fat, the drippings, some of those little chicken pieces that from the thighs. So that's going to all mix into the gravy, and we're going to cook gravy. I cook gravy for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes before I serve it, because it's one of those things that the longer you cook it, the better it tastes, like spaghetti. Like it takes me 3 hours to cook spaghetti, the sauce at least. So you put it all in there and let it simmer. I'm just not cute. I cook. Anybody who's been at my house for Soul Food Sunday or any of my dinners know the girl can burn. I just don't look like this. Okay, so I just wanted to give you that little tip on the gravy. I have about 20 more minutes on this chicken, these chicken thighs, because it's bone in. I'm cooking it at a nice little temperature, so I'll be back. Oh, in the interim, I poured something yummy to drink. And my kitchen is all about atmosphere, so I have my candles burning, I have my earth, wind, and fire playing, and I'll be back. We're getting closer and closer to yumminess. Okay, that chicken is cooking quite nicely. I haven't flipped it over yet, but it's doing what it do. The rice is doing what it does, and we'll keep you posted. All right, this first batch of chicken is almost ready to come out. It's taking a lot longer than I initially anticipated because the thighs are really thick. So we got another 10 minutes on that fry. And remember, we don't want to cook it until it's all the way done, because the next step of this process is to smother it in gravy. And it has to smother at least 45 minutes to an hour. So that's another cook. But the great thing about it is that you simmer it really low until it literally falls off the bone. So it's going to be absolutely yummy. Okay, so Evan has poured that grease out for me, and I took out some of the extra drippings, but you kind of see how that pan looks right now. So what I'm getting ready to do is pour in the gravy, because this is where the gravy magic happens, right? It happens in the skillet. So you want to make sure you have a nice blended gravy. I've taken all of the white clumps out from the flour. And then you just want to kind of spread this around. You want to get a little bit of the oil from the chicken. And you want to get the grease and the fat and all that yumminess. Kind of, you don't want to caramelize it, but it's going to have this really pretty color. And so I'm going to see how that's coming along. See how that's just kind of, and then gravy thickens as it cooks, right? So you want to just kind of, you don't want it to sit, because the first 2 minutes of gravy is on the heat is crucial. If I was to pour this in here and leave it, it would just clump up and be a mess. So you gotta kind of do this sweet little swirl for 90 minutes or so, 90 seconds or so, not minutes, seconds. And you want to make sure that it's, see how I'm hitting the ball of the spoon to that pan? That's why, one of the reasons why I like cooking with cast iron skillets, because they're so flavorful. And it just brings out that flavor, that metal, in a way that no other pan does. And so you just want to kind of swirl that. And you can kind of see around the edges where you see that water and that oil and all of that. But you're going to see it all come together. And you want gravy, it should blend. It shouldn't have a beginning or an end when you're done with it. So over here, I've cut up my onions and peppers. So look at that. Look how it's bubbling. The bubbling process is so important. And it's just going to start from the center, and it's going to bubble outward. And it's just kind of doing that gravy magic. And so what I'm going to do is do a little test here. Taste. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. So I'm going to turn down the heat. I got it, on a 2.5. I'm going to turn down the heat to low. And now I am going to place my chicken in the pan. You know what? I've rested this chicken on some paper towels to get that excess grease. So I can pick it up. All right, look how pretty that is. And so then we're going to let that sit. We're not going to do anything to it. And then in about 20 minutes, I'm going to flip it over and let the other side get nice and tender. Yum, yum. Still grooving to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Shaka Khan was playing earlier. Just wanted to let you guys see how this is coming along. It started the smothering process. I've added the peppers and onions. It smells amazing. It smells amazing. Almost done. Hey y'all. Alright. I'm in the last phase of this. It is ready to plate. It's ready to plate. It looks so yummy. Alright, so I don't know if y'all can see that. You'll see the plate in a minute, but it's done. So the rice is over here. I only cook rice on the stove for about 10 minutes. It's nice and fluffy, some butter in there, because most people overcook rice, and I always use a fork because you don't want your rice to be plump. And most people overcook rice. You have to remember, rice is going to sit in the pot that you cook, and you see that steam is still coming off of that. And I finished cooking this like, I don't know how long ago, but it's still cooking, and especially if you have a lid on it. So I'm going to just put this in the center of my plate. Alright. A nice little portion. And I have warmer things all throughout the kitchen. Once food is cooking, I take it off the stove and put it on the counter. And see, that's just some white rice. And then I'm going to take one of the thighs that's has been lightly drizzled in some gravy. I didn't drown the chicken in gravy today. And then we're going to do some pepper. Oh my God, this is so good. Right? And then I'm going to, if you still hear that cooking, Hannah wanted her chicken fried, so I did a couple of pieces for her for fried. Right? And so, and now I'm going to take the spoon because I just want a little more gravy on my plate, on my rice. I'm cornbread Fred, y'all. Take me out to dinner. I'm not ordering no salad. No ma'am, no sir. I'm not the salad girl. All right, so look at that. That is the finished product of smothered chicken with rice and gravy and some fresh peppers. It smells so good. It's gonna be so good. All right, I'm getting ready to call the fam to the table. And I hope you guys enjoyed hanging in the kitchen with me, in the kitchen with Dana. I don't know how often I'm going to do this, but cooking brings me so much joy. And I thought I'd share more joy with you all, because in 2020. So, in the kitchen with Dana. Hannah will be joining me at some point. And I'm getting ready to eat and drink my yumminess and enjoy the rest of my day. And see you next time. Bye.